welcome to the Aspire to Be podcast. And today we're joined by Sophie Yates, who's our branding and design lead. Hi Sophie.
Hiya.
Thank you for joining us today.
That's right.
So Sophie, you are branding and design lead here at Aspire to Be.
Yeah.
So what does that involve?
So I call myself the gatekeeper of all things A2B branding, but I do other stuff for clients as well, so internal and external work. Anything that needs designing really, so branding, websites, portals, apps, anything with a logo on is how I define it.
So you do all the sort of creative stuff, so any sort of like brand assets, images, all the nice, pretty, jazzy stuff that we see going out across our website and social media.
Yeah, so anything that needs tarting up really comes via me. And yeah, same for clients as well. So anything they want designed, they can come to us, or projects starting from scratch, so like websites and things like that with a brand already in existence, we pick those up as well.
So for the more technical side then, so app and portal and website development, you look after that as well?
Yeah, so I work with Craig a lot on the portals and websites and stuff. He usually does the technical setup, and then I then take it once the basics are all in place and then start designing it then with whatever brief we've been given.
Sounds quite in-depth then. So
Yeah, it is a bit.
it sounds hard. You're making it sound really hard.
It is. It's hard.
So how did you get to be involved in that then? How did you get to where you are?
So I did graphic design in school or college, everything, just the usual sort of route through it. Before I graduated, it was in my final year, I got a summer internship. Then just got kept on after I graduated and just worked my way up through the ranks. So I was there for 5 years, I think, in a design agency, so different setup to what it is in Aspire to Be, where I'm the only designer. So then after 5 years, came here, and I've been here since 2018, I think.
Got a long time then.
Yeah.
So is there a lot of pressure being the only designer then? So from going as part of a team to being the
On my
only
own, yeah.
designer, that must be a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it is pressure. It's a totally different dynamic as well, the company, because it was all client work in my last place, so it's always just, you've got to jump from one project to the other, whereas here you can sort of have blocks of time dedicated to client work or for our own work, so sort of still doing the jumping to and fro from different styles and brands and things like that, but not so often then.
Yeah.
So I could work on all A to B stuff one day, whereas in my previous role, it would have been working on 5 different clients through a day. It's just completely different really, even though I'm still designing, just how the environment and team changes makes a hell of a difference.
So what part of the job do you really enjoy the most then? What do you get the most sort of out of?
I do like doing our brand stuff a lot, because it's completely my baby.
Yeah.
I just make all the decisions. Well, you know, I check with Simon and stuff like that, but he'll just do whatever I tell him, really. I say, this looks good, we're having that. So I just do all of that for myself. Not for myself, by myself, for the company. Whereas you could be designing things for clients sometimes, and I don't want to diss any clients, but sometimes I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't like the design at the end of it, but if clients paying you,
yeah,
you've got to do it. Like, if that's what they've asked for, you've got to do it. So there's a lot more ownership then of stuff I can do here for us. And even with the client stuff, we do have a lot more control over it here with the things we do, rather than, you know, designing flyers for a little company down the road and stuff. It's buzzing, but they want it, happy with it. We don't do things like that here. It tends to be bigger projects. You could get more your teeth stuck into it, like. Yeah,
I suppose that must be really nice to have a bit more control over what you're doing as well, a bit more artistic license.
Yeah, exactly. So like with our new website now that we've just not long pushed out, I could do whatever I wanted with that. Yeah. There was nobody saying, all right, a logo had to be on it, we had to have the few basics in place, certain pages and that, but design wise I could do what I want.
And that's amazing to have that freedom to use your own creative license there. Yeah. And obviously the trust that comes with that then, I suppose that's the beauty of working in maybe a slightly smaller business. Yeah. Is that there is that trust that, you know, they know that you're going to do.
Yeah, exactly. Simon's view is, I'm paying you to do that. So you make the decisions and we'll just back you all the way, like, which is great. Like, you know, some clients are like that. They give you freedom, but others, especially if you've already got a brand and stuff in existence, have already got a set idea of what they want.
You've got to work around that then.
Sometimes it's ugly.
Yeah. Not everything can be beautiful.
No, exactly. But no, it's a nice balance here between client work and our own work as well. Whereas before, as a design agency, I remember we went through a rebrand, but we had to outsource it because as a team of designers, you could never make a decision about what your company logo's going to look like. It was an absolute nightmare. So we had to have somebody else do it.
It's like builders, their own houses are never finished.
Oh, no, exactly. Yeah, it's exactly the
thing.
same. So, no, it's, it's a nice balance to have, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm grateful that I can just do whatever the hell I want, really.
And then that's reflected, isn't it? Because like in things like the new website, it looks fantastic, obviously, and like all the assets then that we're producing for social media and everything else, it all ties in really nicely.
Yeah. So when I came, there wasn't any. The brand was. I didn't design our logo. The brand was already in place. Well, no, I say that I'm not dwelling on the past, but there wasn't a brand. It was just the logo.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I sort of took the bull by the horns when I joined and said, right, we need to get some sort of consistency across everything we're producing, because you could look at it, unless our logo's on it, you'd have 5 flyers, say, it'd look like it's from 5 different companies.
Yeah.
So it was just getting a bit of consistency, and as much as I'd love to design everything that goes out, there's literally not enough hours in the day for me to be able to design everything that we share. So it was getting that consistency in place and having a sort of toolkit that others can use, like other members of the team when they're delivering and things like that, so that I don't have to design everything. It's sort of setting people up so that they can sort of go a little bit, for big important, not any project isn't important, but for more big, beefy, like documents for proposals and things like that, I'll design that.
Yeah.
But for, just general comms and stuff and presentations and things, I wanted other people to be able to sort of take the lead on their own stuff, but have the facilities there that I've set up for them to just go and fly.
And you particularly enjoy monitoring the guidelines.
Yeah,
don't you?
I like the term monitoring. I'd use the term bossing around, nagging.
Aggressively.
There's a lot to be said
promoting,
for a good old nag. It's people just sick of hearing me saying, share this with me before it goes out, blah, 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 blah. But they do it, so it works,
isn't it?
So until people don't start listening to me, I'll keep going with that, the nag technique. 2 times a week I'll do a naggy email, and it seems to be doing the trick.
Maybe we'll even get it down to once a week in future.
Oh, I don't know if I can relinquish that much control, to be honest with you. I don't trust anyone.
But you can see how much work has gone into creating the brand, though, because now you can look at everything and it's all immediately identifiable, isn't it? And that's what you want. That's
the goal. And it has been, there's always more to do. I can always do more templates, more things like that for other people. But I'm happy with the place it's got to now, especially with the website and stuff. So yeah, I'm just going to keep working into that. And, things like illustration styles and that change, graphic styles change. It's just a case of we've got that baseline now, so we can just keep evolving it now as we go forward.
So what do you find like the most enjoyable to do? If I give you a piece of work and, what would you really want to do?
I like doing a start to finish project. So someone who hasn't got anything, first things first, they want a logo and they want the basics all in place, and then taking that then to whether it's a website, a portal or an app. I like sort of having the sort of, not just use your logo, it's use your logo, right, how are we going to apply this now to social media, to your graphics that you're sharing, to even things like business cards. I know we don't do it very often, but business cards, flyers, things like that. Great Days Golf is a good example of that. We started with nothing, so we did the logo, we did social media assets, and now we've got the app, and we have got a small website as well for it. So it's having that full suite of branded items then. Yeah. I like a project like that, because it's nice and beefy as well. You get proper stuck into it.
It's
and
like
having
a
bit of freedom
then, isn't it? Because you're going from start to finish.
Yeah, rather than someone coming to you with a logo and being like, oh, can we work backwards and do that? I remember in my previous roles, someone coming to us with a logo and then wanting their brand guidelines done. I was like, well, this should have all been done at the same time by the same person, not the other way around. So I like having that sort of flow, like logo first, right, brand guidelines, how do we use it, then actually doing the using of it. Yeah.
So Great Days Golf, again, is a really good example of a project that you worked on that it
Start to finish,
it came in with absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So what did you deliver to them to give them that? And they wanted more of an online presence and more of a brand, didn't they? So how did you give
So
them
we did the brand, obviously, the logo and stuff like that. So, and then they've got a website, and from there you can access the Progressive web app. So it's an app that you can access just like a website. You don't need to download it, you don't need anything like that, and you can just type in a URL and it'll lock on your phone as if it's an app. You can save it to your home screen like you would for a normal app, and they run events through it. There's different clubs that have got different membership levels, so like associate clubs and offers and things like that. Everything's through this one app. All the comms through it land in whoever's inbox needs it at the end of it. But it's quite a nice example, I think, of what we've done of a progressive web app, of how it can be used. And it's not like we've just done it and it's gone out there and it's done. We're always looking for new things to add to it. So now we're looking at like an event booking system, how we can integrate that. So it's not just done and done.
Yeah,
it's
like
an ongoing development. But like the brand and stuff like that is all in place anyway. So that goes through all their social media. They've got all templates and bits and bobs of that. So yeah, it's just keeping going really.
Yeah, and that's a great example of sort of how we deliver that full package to someone.
Yeah, exactly. It's literally start to well, not, I don't like to say finish because it's never finished, but you know, starting from nothing to what there is now is a
totally
jump.
different.
Yeah,
so it's
exactly.
revolutionised their like digital presence.
Yeah,
effectively.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So obviously those are all things you enjoy. What do you hate doing? Like what lands on your desk and you're like, oh god.
I don't hate, there's no job in particular I hate doing, but it's sort of, with the branding and things now, for example, it's giving up control of things.
There's a theme
so, you know what I said about getting the resources and stuff ready for everyone, but actually, in an ideal world, I would design everything that goes out. Because even stuff I design, I can look back at it and be like, oh, I could change that and I could change that. So even more so when other people are doing it, I'm like, oh, what do you know? You're not a designer. So you should have done this isn't this. So it's sort of, not that I don't trust the team, but I'm not in a team of designers anymore. Whereas before, I could have been, and I know someone would have done it exactly like I envisioned it because it's all there, ready, laid out. So it's just sort of pushing things to other people and being like, you go and do that.
But being like...
Yeah, exactly. At the same time, still, if it's like a bit of paper, still holding on to it, like, and then trying to take it out my hand. So, yeah, it's not, there's no jobs I hate doing, but it's just the things that surround the jobs. I wouldn't say hate. Hate is a very strong word.
Hate is a strong word.
Just...
don't enjoy as much.
Yeah, that's a good, say that.
Yes, natural. So, obviously with the website, the portal builds as well.
Yeah.
So you do the development of those. Mm-hmm. So what's the process for that? Because it sounds really... Because I wouldn't have necessarily have thought of that in conjunction with like the branding and design.
No, exactly. Well, that's it. Design is such a wide... Anything can be designed really, can't it? So it sort of spurs off, I think, in my mind anyway, from like website design. So you've got like a basic website, which is just information pushing out. But then the portals we do then, so like our Aspire Ed portal, it's a two-way street. Like you sign up to it, you interact with it, you get stuff from it, and we get stuff back from it as well. So it's like a two-way communication tool as opposed to just pushing information out. So like I said earlier, I work with Craig on everything online then really, anything that involves a technical setup, Craig will do that. So get like the URLs and all that stuff. I don't know what the terminology is.
He does that
Craig
side.
does
We
that
don't
bit.
have to worry about that bit.
And as soon as he's in a position to be designed, then I sort of go in. If we're working with a client, we usually design like a home page and maybe a couple of sub pages for them to get an idea of the style. Once they've signed that off, then it's just a case of when we've got the content, we start ploughing it, adding it in, checking back and forth with the client. Are you happy with this? Does this work? Does that work? If there's like logins and things like that, there's a bit more sort of logical thinking goes behind that. Like, so if you do this, it's like the user journey.
Yeah.
Map that out as well. Like if you log in, you end up here, and this does this and this does that. So that's sort of like a website, but just with extra layers built in behind it.
Yeah.
But they're a lot of work, but they're satisfying when they're done. We've done one recently for medical needs in schools, Oxfordshire Hospital Schools, I think the link up is. And that's a good example of one as well. So it's using the same sort of technology and approach as Aspire Ed, whereas Aspire Ed covers loads. This is very niche. They've got like a really specific audience, but they can access everything they need to. It's really easy to follow. You sign up, log in, you've got all your courses you can access, or everything's nice branded up. Again, the branding comes into it as well. It makes such a difference to just have, like, if you've got video courses, all the same thumbnail on them.
Yeah.
So it's not like all higgledy-piggledy and it looks nice and finished and polished. So little changes like that on portals, so having my design ed on for doing more technical things then does give it that extra sort of polish.
Because you do miss that sometimes, because I think sometimes from a technical perspective, people, they're so busy looking at
you can get bogged down in it,
kind
of it. Yeah. But no, I like to then sort of, I get my design in right at the start, and then also check it at the end for consistencies throughout, setting up styles like font sizes and little things like that. A lot of people might not notice it, but I do.
But it's the sort of thing you don't notice when it's done well.
No, when you've done wrong, you notice it then,
you
don't
really
you?
see it, don't you?
Yeah.
So
Not on any of my things, Kath.
obviously. You're like an unsung hero, look. That's what it is.
Sung hero, not unsung.
Hero, no.
I want to know.
I've done some good. Yeah, all the feedback, please. Only good feedback. So as well as all your branding and design work, you are obviously really heavily involved with whipping us all into shape and organising everything. So what, as a big part of the team, what do you...
I just like bossing people around, really, Kath. So anything that needs some sort of organising, whether it's someone's birthday, I just can't, like I said, I can't give up control. I'm such a control freak. No, even if I'm like, I can't be bothered to do this birthday collection, I'll actually be like, do you know what, I'll just do it, because I'm in control of it then. I'll go out buy the presents, I'll collect everyone's money. Our lottery, I'll chase everyone for the money for that. Nick organises it, to be fair, the actual numbers, but money chasing, I'm all over it. I just love nagging people. So I'll do the lottery, Christmas. Well, you've joined my Christmas one-man committee. You're also on it. Any like socials and that. I just like being involved and throwing my weight around, really.
Anything that needs bossing around, basically.
Yeah. If someone needs chasing, I've told Simon, just ask me, I'll chase them. I'll chase them for money. I'll chase them for work. I'll do whatever. I'm shameless. As long as it's an email to my face, I'll be like, sorry.
Yeah, keyboard warrior.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not a troll though. Just clarify.
No. So as well as all the work you do and all the nagging, you're like champion baker.
Official office baker.
Keeping us all one size up in clothes.
Yeah, I only have one rule though, I only bake what I like, so don't request something I wouldn't like the taste of, because you ain't having it.
So what wouldn't you bake?
I just think, literally as I said that, I was thinking, there's not much I don't like, really. I don't like fruit cake.
Okay, yeah.
So...
What about like a scone?
Yeah, like a scone.
Yeah.
Yeah, just nothing with fruit in, really. That's my only rule.
You did make carrot cake yesterday.
That's a vegetable, Kath.
Oh, yes.
Carrot cake's my favourite. And brownies and blondies, cookies, anything really. Just not healthy.
I'm starving, I'm just thinking about
it. I mean, he's going to rumble now.
All right, so very quickly then to finish, we'll do a quick fire round. Are you ready?
I'm nervous, okay.
Are you stressed?
Yeah.
Okay. What would you rather bake? Sweet or savoury?
Sweet.
Okay. Brownies or cookies?
Brownies.
Cakes or brownies?
Cake.
What kind of cake?
Carrot cake.
Obviously.
You just said that.
I know, sorry. Okay. So, summer or winter?
Winter.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Stupid question.
Yeah, silly.
Plants or dogs?
Oh, dogs.
Dogs with plants.
Both together. Yeah. House plants and dogs are my two top favourite things. Yeah, and cake.
Top tier. 3.
Yeah, 3.
Okay, we're done. Brilliant.
Thanks.
Thank you very much for joining us today, so.
It's alright. Anytime.